Coolant's drained down there in that bucket. As you can see, the coolant lines are disconnected. So I can unhook this one and unbolt the radiator and slide it out after I disconnect the fan. Turbo coolant lines are already off. Here and down in there. Downpipe is off. 2 bolts and the coil bracket can be off. 2 bolts, the cable end, and then the 4 holding the throttle body on, and that'll be off. Timing belt, accessory belt's already gone, and the dipstick. And then I should be ready to pull the head. Once that is going, we can look and see what happened with the head gasket, if anything. We can look and see at the cylinders. Maybe I'll get lucky and it was just a head gasket, but I highly doubt that. So, I don't know if the last video caught it. It's going to be around 100 degrees for most of the week. So, I'm just going to do a series of mini updates and cram it into one video or 2 videos depending on how much content I can come up with. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it here and then pick it up the next time I get a chance to work on this thing. I guess it's time to pull the valve cover and the head. I really should pull the wire harness. Pulled the heater box already, so I can patch it up. Might actually get to hook the OBD2 wires up, which would be nice. Throttle body's pulled, obviously. Throttle cable's pulled. I'm going to pull the dipstick, the belt tensioner for the timing belt, and then I should be good to pull the head. Good news is, I don't see any sunken lifters. I don't feel any either. Cam bearings are good, but it's still under tension. I don't see any broken springs. It doesn't mean there aren't any. So it's looking like it's a deeper issue, which is unfortunate, but do what you gotta do, I guess. Alright. Head bolts are out. All 10 of them. Okay, these are Fel-Pro head bolts, or as other people like to call them, Fail-Pro. But these head bolts are said to be good to 500 horsepower. They're torque to yield, one-time use. I'm inclined to believe that. Those bolts had less than 5,000 miles on them. These guys right here. And it took a 1/2-inch breaker bar to break them loose. And now, because people are so adamant about, you know, head bolts, we're going to take these over to the scrap bin, which I have a bunch of here at work. Big Pacific recycling bin. Those are not being reused for obvious reasons. So at this point, I believe I'm ready to pull the head. The timing belt's off, the hose is loose. I got this one heater core hose, and that's it. I'll see you on the other side. And here we are. Dished pistons and everything. Water pump is still on. The head came off without a hitch. There's no obvious damage to the valves or any evidence of cross flow or head gasket lifting between the oil passages. Here. This is a major one here. I had a major problem with the other block right here. No, wrong end, right here. it was blowing straight into number 4. So it is definitely piston clearance. Two and 3, 2 worse than 3, are really sloppy. And when you give it crank a turn, that piston moves a lot. That looks like a broken skirt almost. Well, 1 and 2 or 1 and 4 are pretty loose as well. So I probably should have had the block done properly. On initial inspection, there's a little bit of wipeout on number 3, but I don't feel or see anything that would prevent me from honing the block. So, good news is, it's fixable. Bad news is, it's not going to be a cheap fix. When is it ever? So, here I sit. There's only a couple things left to pull, and then I can pull the block, like my nice aluminum radiator here. That definitely needs to come out. Not a whole lot of clearance there. And the input shaft comes a good 3 inches out of the transmission. So, I guess I know where I'm going from here. When I pulled my turbo apart, I had oil dribbling out of my boost controller. You can still see some of it on there. Right there. So I pulled it apart. There's oil there too. It's all nasty. Pulled it apart. I'm going to rebuild it. New seals, new bearings, the whole 9 yards. And I might just shoot its own video for that. But I also noticed that the wastegate wasn't fully sealed, which would explain the rattling and the boost lag I was having, because these are reported to boost almost instantly. And I wouldn't see full pressure till about 2,500 RPM. It's about 1,000 RPM over what these are rumored to be at full power. Which would also explain why I'd only get a maximum of 15 out of my boost controller. So, look forward to that. The loose wastegate was actually caused by a misalignment of the compressor housing, so I'm going to have to watch for that when I rebuild it. That's it for the night. I'll see you in the next one.